What up, man?
What up?
How you doing?
Shit, fucking sitting here in the haircut room watching people get their haircut.
All right, how are you, man? Last time I talked to you, we were supposed to come and do a live together, but you ended up you went to the shoe because I guess you got caught with the phone?
Yeah, like literally the morning. I talked to you at like midnight, and then at 9 in the morning the next morning they came in and got me.
How long did you do?
Shit, I was in the shoe for 8 months.
Oh my god. And then
I was in the shoe for 8.
They transferred you?
Yeah, I was in the shoe for 8, then I went to Atlanta for 2, Oklahoma for a month, and now I'm finally in New Jersey.
How you doing now?
Shit, I mean, I'm good. I mean, it's nice to like be back around people and shit. I only had a celly for 11 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I've done a lot of whole time. It's horrible. Do you want to tell my audience like about yourself so that because I'll get the video, I'll take the screenshot and I'll post it so that they can all see it.
Yeah. My name is Jeremy. I'm in prison for marijuana. I have a cannabis crime. I got 5 years for marijuana trafficking, sending weed from California to South Carolina. So I do a lot of activism and stuff, trying to get marijuana legalized. At first, I was at a camp, and like I said, I got caught on the phone, so I got transferred to a low now.
How long you been down right now?
I'm over 2 years. I'm at 26. Yeah, like 2 days ago was 26 months for me.
So you've been down like 2 years?
Yeah, just over 2 years.
And you're eligible for RDAP, right? So you get a year off?
No, I got a gun enhancement.
Okay. How much herb did you get caught with to get that kind of sentence, to get 5 years?
Shit, they only caught me with 7 pounds. They used bank records to push it up to 100 kilograms or more.
But you didn't get charged with the money. You just got charged with the weed.
I got money laundering too. It's like a sub charge of my.
Were you on a conspiracy?
No, well, I mean it's a 3-man case.
But they didn't give you a conspiracy charge?
No. And I'm the only one serving time. The other 2 people aren't serving any time. I'm the only one who went to prison.
You're the first person I've ever had on that's actually doing time. Last time I talked to you, you were in a camp. Now you're not in a camp anymore. You're in a low now, right?
Yes.
What was being in a camp like? I never made it that. I was only in mediums. What was a camp like? I've heard that they're fucking awesome.
Well, I mean, my camp had a fence though, so it was a little bit less like fun as some. Like some dudes at camps are going out and getting pussy and shit like that. We couldn't do that, but we did have. I mean, the biggest difference I see is the price. Like everything in the camp was cheaper. Phones were $200. Fucking, you know what I mean? Every drug is there. Every drug is street price in a camp.
So they don't have phone towers that block the signal? Because every time I was in the feds at all the yards I was on, they had phone blockers.
Nah, they don't block shit. Shit, my boy, I was on last night with. He's at a medium and he was fucking live with me.
Really? All right. Well, when I was in state prison, because I've done 3 terms. The last one, half of it was in Fed because I was on a probation violation, and then I had to go to California State. They had cell blockers, and once they installed those, we started getting like Cooler Ranch Dorito, like the aluminum packs. And you take the battery out and fold up the bag and you put it against where the battery would go if you take the phone apart, if that ever happens, and you can use it that way. Just so you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you should look that up just in case at some point. You should know how to do it, you know?
Yeah, they like some dudes here were getting like messages that were like text messages. Like, we know this phone is being used at a federal prison for high-level scamming and like child pornography and shit like that. Yeah.
Like little like automatic. What's up, Tedford? I saw you. You get automatic like text message notifications come up and they say that they know you're in the feds.
Well, I mean, that like people got text messages from random numbers. I don't know if it was automated. I don't know what they were doing. But see, they like I know at Edgefield they did something where they blocked the tower, and then they basically pinged all the phones that were in the in the medium, and they found out there was like 92 phones in the medium.
92 phones?
Yeah, in the
Holy
medium.
Shit.
And they did like a 6-week shakedown where they went through everything. And at the camp, we had to go over and work that. But they found there was over 200 phones at the camp, and they never shook us down.
That's crazy. When I was in the feds, I was at Victorville, I was at Lompoc, I was at Oxford. I only saw one phone in 8 years that I've done in the feds.
Damn.
Yeah, one. Yeah, like, we heard about them. We heard that there were lows and camps that were just cracking off with phones, but just not something I saw. When I was in state, everybody had them. But in the feds, no, so...
I got you.
What has your experience been like in the low versus the camp? What are some of like the big differences that you notice?
Well, for one, I mean, at the camp it was all cubes, so it was like a 2-man cube, but the room was all open. And here it's like a 12-man cell, so it's like it's like 6 bunk beds in one room, so you have like a lot more like cellies that you know what I mean. You're like living with a lot more people, and I mean, really, just the biggest difference is just everything's expensive. You know what I mean? It's more expensive. Everything's more expensive.
What about like the people that you're doing time with? Did you like the people at the camp more, or you like the low better?
I mean, definitely like the people at the low are younger, which is more. I mean, I'm younger, so I like it better for that for sure. But I mean, there's obviously like the people like there's a lot of chomos here. There's no chomos in the camp.
Yeah.
Which I mean that's definitely a different environment. Chomos are fucking weird.
Yeah. So like because I never made it to a low, but I heard with chomos like. Even though they were there, like I heard that, like at Terminal Island, like they knew that who was who, but they wouldn't let them use the TV, and they were kind of like ostracized a bit. Is that how it is there? Like, do the chomos can you like overtly be like against them, or do they tell on you and then you get rolled out of there?
Here they have like chotection, they call it. Whereas like basically, if you fuck with a chomo, you can like they can just ship you immediately. So the chomos have their own like TV they watch here,
right?
But the thing about it is, there's 3 floors, and pretty much all the chomos have to stay on the first floor. Like if a chomo comes to your room and you don't want them there, you can kick them out.
I got it. So you're at the kind of spot where if you check paperwork, you get shipped out.
Yeah. I mean, but everyone's doing that. You know what I mean? But it's like technically it's against the rules.
I got it. Yeah, that's how Oxford was. Like if they call, and there was a lot of people telling there, and if somebody found out about it that you were checking people's paperwork, you get shipped out. I lost RDAP because of that. So I checked my celly's paperwork, and they just shipped me right out of there. I mean, didn't ship me out of there. They kicked me out of RDAP, and I lost that year, I went to the hole, whatever, but they wanted to ship me. I actually ended up staying at that place, but I got shipped out of Victorville. How many different yards have you hit on your 2 years that you've been down?
I was at Edgefield camp, and then, like I said, I was in the SHU, and I was only in Atlanta transit and Oklahoma transit before I got to New Jersey.
So Oklahoma's where you were slammed down in the hole the whole time?
No. I was slammed in Oklahoma, in Edgefield SHU, in South Carolina SHU. Edgefield, South Carolina.
Did you have any action in the SHU, or was it just a fucked up spot?
I mean, it was fucked. Like, they wouldn't even let us get books in or anything. Like,
oh man!
But that's where I wrote my first novel while I was in the SHU. So I made good time. I made good of my time for sure.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah! I did the same thing. Whenever you want to publish that, man, let me know and I'll help you with it for sure.
Hell yeah.
How's COVID been in there? What's it been like being in prison?
I mean, COVID's the reason I got stuck. Like I should have been to a low. Actually, I was supposed to go to Lexington Medical in May of last year, but because of COVID, they just kept putting 30-day mandatoriums on transportation and shit like that. So we would be like, why are we still getting punished? Like our DS time has been over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and they're just like, oh, you're not getting punished. You're just awaiting transfer.
Wow, that sucks, dude.
Yeah. That's how it was for a lot of us. Like there was about 42 of us on C range, and all of us were stuck there over 6 months. So we basically all lived in the SHU together for 6 months.
Wow. Did you see anyone die because of COVID in prison?
No, no one. Well, I mean, but I didn't have any contact that whole time I was in the SHU in Atlanta. The only contact I had with the outside world was whatever my sister would send me in letters.
Oh wow. So so you're just hearing it from her secondhand, pretty much.
Yeah, like because the only people that I was in contact with that were outside were the guards. You know what I mean? They walk by every 30 minutes, but shit, we didn't even know who won the election for 10 days after the election.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because they're all like, no, Trump, they're still counting ballots. Biden didn't win. We're like, I feel like Biden won. And it's like, no, he didn't win. Like,
wow.
And we get to Atlanta and it's like, Biden's becoming president. It's like, wait, they were just telling us he didn't win.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So you get are they still doing Second Chance Act right now?
They haven't passed it yet. There's just the First Step Act. They haven't passed the Second Chance Act.
That went through already, the First Step Act? My friend helped write that.
The First Step Act happened in 2018, but the prisons are refusing to, they're basically making everybody take everything to court with what's in the First Act. Like, they don't want to give you any extra home confinement, halfway house time. Like, guys are still getting 3 or 4 months of halfway house on 25-year sentences and shit like that, which isn't supposed to happen.
Bullshit.
Yeah, they tell you, they're like, oh no, it just says that you are eligible for 6 months. I'm like, no, it's pretty clear that it's telling you that you should get at least 6 months halfway house. Like,
6 months minimum, absolutely. Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
Anything over 5 years, it's supposed to be 6 months automatic.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, they're not doing that.
Wow.
And then they blame it on the halfway house. They're like, oh well, it's not up to us. We recommended it, but the halfway house isn't giving it out.
That's crazy, man.
You know how the feds are.
What do you miss most about being free?
My daughter, number one. But then
definitely. I get
two,
that. I'm a father. All right. You get visits from her?
I mean, I did until, the last time I saw my daughter was December of 2019. Because COVID stopped visitation completely.
You can't get visit. Well, they're not doing Zoom stuff now?
No, we don't have that. We don't got the. Nah.
Last time I was on my last violation in 2018, I was at Victorville, and they came and started installing like the Skype cameras or whatever. Did they do that yet where you're at?
No, they had a room for that at the camp, but it wasn't in service. They canceled it for some reason or whatever. And they don't have that here.
When I was in the hole in Lompoc, that's how they were given visits. They do the Skype visits when you're in the hole. My parents.
We didn't get shit in the hole. We didn't get nothing in the hole. There was no.
Did you get phone calls?
Well, not for 6 months. And then when they did give us phone calls, it was 20 minutes a month total.
It's nuts, man. Is everybody all strung out on spice right now?
Not here. In Atlanta, yes. Oklahoma, yes. But this place is so wide open, everyone just can get weed, so they rather just smoke weed. And a lot of the cars here, if you smoke spice, they kick you out of the car.
Because it makes you act so fucking weird, right? And people have seizures on it. When I was at Victorville, everybody was strung out on that shit. I was seeing people flop around like fish. Ugly shit.
That's how the high, especially the higher levels are, because it's harder to get other drugs in. They're able to spray that shit on the mail and shit.
Yeah, and then the Suboxone. I'm sure that was a big thing when I left. Everybody was doing subs, man.
Yeah, everywhere else I've been, it's been Suboxone and K2. K2 because you can't get drug tested for it with the spice, whatever. So,
how much were the strips going for that you saw?
In Oklahoma, they were $300 a piece.
That's what I saw.
$320. In Atlanta, they were only $100. Atlanta Transit's wide open though.
Wow, spice is synthetic marijuana, but it's some fucking horrible stuff that makes people have seizures and flop around, and somebody bit somebody's face off somewhere in like Florida. That wasn't in prison though. I guess that place is wide open. If I'm talking to you on a fucking cell phone, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's pretty wide open here. In fact,
Right as I say that.
I'm about to walk upstairs, just chilling on the phone right now.
What's up, Ted?
Dude,
long time, man.
Yeah, this place is known for being wide open.
Yeah, hell yeah. It seems that way. Yeah. Shit, I never had a phone in the Fed.
It's dirty, motherfucker. Here, though, like the bathrooms are. I think the floor I live on, there's 2 toilets that work. All the rest of them are broken. There's probably like 7 toilets and 5 of them are broken.
Crazy, man. What was I gonna ask? You guys got a weight pile there?
Yeah, there is weights here, but because of COVID, same thing. Like, I mean, honestly, we get out for an hour a day, 3 days a week, and they only let us outside. They don't let us in the gym. The weight pile's in the gym.
Wow, crazy. Are there a lot of fights at that spot?
I haven't seen a fight yet.
So it's cool. That's what you want. Yeah. You want it to be like that. That's how Oxford was, and it was a medium. It was cool, mellow.
Yeah.
What about the camp?
I didn't see. I saw one fight at the camp, and it wasn't like. I mean, it was more like wrestling than a fight.
Right. Yeah, I heard. Everybody that I know that's been to camp said they're really petty. Like, I know people that have gotten kicked out of camp for stealing milk from the kitchen. Was it like that there?
Yeah, they were writing dudes shots, especially when the First Step Act came out, because basically when the First Step Act, it says like if you get any shot, then you're not eligible for anything for a year, like even if it's a 300 series bullshit ass shot.
Wow.
So they were writing people shots for like having their grays hung up on their hook in their room.
Is that a 400 series? Like clothes?
It's a 300.
That's a 300? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all of you,
it's called like untidiness, like room untidiness or something.
So they do like cell inspections?
Yeah, and it's like here you're like asleep and the lady walks in and she's like, you guys know that you need to clean up, and then she walks out and she never comes back. At the camp, it was like you had to be dressed and have your fucking greens on and stand in there, no hat on, and they're inspecting your room and measuring how the fold of the blanket is on your bed. Yeah. The one dude was literally measuring, like, he's like, it's a 6-inch fold. When I was in the military, I'm like, bro, we're not in the fucking military. None of us are choosing to be here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Were there a lot of ballers there, though, in the camp? There's a lot of rich people, huh?
Yeah, a lot of white collar.
Yeah, that's where, like, the stockbrokers go. See, it's, I always wanted to go to a camp. I mean, I always heard things about them.
There's a lot of people here with money, though, too, because we're right near New York City.
Yeah, I'm sure. What was I going to ask, man? I'm going to forget something, and then I'm going to be mad that I didn't ask you. Are you trying to get back to a camp? Can you get back to a camp?
I can, and actually, technically, I'm eligible to go to a camp now, because they only put a year management variable on me, which went off April 17th.
You're on a management variable to be at a low right now?
Yeah, because at the camp,
in the other
even
direction?
And higher, like they raised my, they put a management variable on me to raise my custody level because I only have 8 points.
They can do that?
Yeah.
I thought they can only do management variables down. Like if you're
no, they can
go up too. That's crazy. So a management variable, for those of you that don't know, that means that like there's different custodies. There's a camp, there's a low, there's a medium, and there's the high. There's the USP. Management variable, it has the administration manually change your custody level. So if you like have low points, the management variable, they can put you in a camp or they can put you in a medium, even if that's not where your points fall. And when he was talking about shots, those are disciplinary write-ups. Like the most serious is like 100. That's like for murder and shit. I don't know if you even get a shot for murder, but it would be the most serious offense. 200 is what? Like misuse of the phone or something? What's 200? Fighting?
Yeah, 200s are I think if you're like bringing in cigarettes or something, it's like
introduction
that.
of like contraband. 200.
Like shit that's not serious.
And then
Like if it's drugs or a cell phone, they're gonna hit you with a 100. But I think if you bring in like you know what I mean, like a cigarette from outside or something,
or
like
a dirty drug test. They're tripping on dirty drug tests too.
Yeah, that's a 100 series shot too.
That's always what my thing is. I was always getting dirties there. They trip on prune. They hate wine. They hate hooch. Then like a 300 series is like what you were talking about, like having like your clothes disorderly. And then a 400 series I think is like a fresh tattoo or like talking shit to the guards, right? What's a 400?
Shit, I don't know. I don't know anybody who's ever gotten a 400.
Yeah, it's like too petty. Like you gotta like really try to get one. Oh, yeah. There's your friend right there. How's the commissary there?
The commissary's all right. They were only letting us get $50 a week when we were because I got COVID when I got here, and so when I caught COVID, they sent me over to the unit that everybody had COVID, and for that whole time I was there, we were only allowed to get $50 a week. But now that we're off of that, we can get $180 every 2 weeks.
$50 a week because you had COVID, because you were in some little quarantine unit? That's fucked up. So you're basically being disciplined for being sick?
Yeah, well, yeah, because they were like, they didn't want the commissary workers to have to, I guess, carry all that down or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I would have, what's it called? I forget what it's called when you, like, write a complaint to, like...
BP8s.
What
BP9s.
is it?
BP8.
BP8. There you go. I would have BP8 that shit. BP9.
Right, man.
That's
You
when
know
you
there's
write, like, a complaint. I used to do that all the time. That was, like, my hustle. People would pay me to write BP8s for them. And we just, complain about everything.
Yeah, the only thing is that, like, they get so long to respond to you. Plus, with COVID, they can always just be like, oh, well, we couldn't respond because of COVID. And I mean, you could end up with a year. If you go all the way to a BP11, you're talking about a whole year by the time you get a response to that shit. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, man. They do that on purpose. They don't want to give you any sort of remedy or anything for the BP8s. They take their sweet time anytime you have like a valid complaint, because that's bullshit. You shouldn't be disciplined on commissary for being sick. That's fucking bullshit. How sick did you get? What was it like having COVID?
I was sick. I mean, I was sick for 2 weeks. Like, I was sick. I felt terrible. I mean, I wasn't sick like where I was like, all right, I need to go to the hospital, but I was sick. I was definitely sick.
When COVID first started, you were definitely busted, right? That was like what, a year and a half ago or something? Is that
a year and a couple months.
Were they on it? Was it super clean in there? Were they being freaks about it, or did they not give a fuck?
No. I mean, come on, like you know how it is in prison. It's all up to the prisoners. The guards ain't gonna do shit.
How were the prisoners?
I mean, like I said, I spent so much time in the shoe. It's really hard for me to say what it was like. All I heard was all I have is secondhand on what it was like. But I mean, I know at the camp they tried to fucking keep everybody in their cells and keep a guard up there and have to ask to go to the bathroom and shit like that, and wear your mask and all that. But that shit's not gonna last. Like they don't have the staff to make that kind of shit last.
Would you say that it became more wide open because of COVID?
No. Less because there's more like here, like, you know, there's no easy way to get stuff from one dorm to another because we don't have any contact with other dorms.
So I can only imagine being in prison during COVID and all the rumor mills and inmate.com. What were people saying? It's like the end of the world, I'm sure. People catastrophize shit in prison. What were people saying when COVID first started?
Well, that's actually what got me caught, because I made a post on Facebook because they were talking about how they were going to release all these people, but then our unit manager came in and basically was like, we're only going to release people over 65 that have served 66% of their sentence, blah, 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 which all those people were already supposed to be gone because of the First Step Act.
Damn, that's so. Did you see people get out because of COVID?
There was a lot of there have been a lot of people. I'm hoping to get out in September because of the CARES Act, but we'll see.
Well, you definitely be in my thoughts, man. did you see a lot of people go home when the crack law went retroactive on the new First Step Act? Because that was part of it.
Yeah, there was that. That was honestly the only thing that I've seen from the First Step Act that actually is like happened. That I've seen people go home early because of.
My friend wrote that legislation.
There was dudes that had years and years left, and that crack law came in, and boom, they were out like the next day.
That's so cool. That's great to hear. What else, man? What do you want to tell people? What are you're trying to put your book out when you get out? What would you like to tell my?
I'm trying to get that out in the fall, even if I'm still in here.
I'll help you.
Yeah, because I got an editor and stuff, and we're transcribing it right now and editing it and everything like that. But
do you have access to a computer?
No. Well, I mean, just the core links. But what I'm doing is I'm gonna type it on a typewriter, and then send it to her, and she can scan it, and then she's able to edit it that way.
Yeah, at Oxford they had a computer lab that you could use, but you had to be in college correspondence classes. They don't have a computer lab there?
I'm sure they do, but none of that shit's open. Nothing's open here.
Oh, yeah, man. Shit. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. But you know what else I used to do? I used to write my book and send chapters through core links. It would cost a lot of money, but, like, you know, it was worth it to me. Then you know it's saved.
She already has the whole written copy of my book. It's 572 pages.
Okay.
It's called Legalized Drugs.
I like the title.
And it's about like what the world would be like if we legalize drugs.
So it's a novel.
Yeah, it's a novel.
That's what's up.
It's not like a book about me. It's a novel. It's based on like a new president comes in 2024 as an independent. He legalizes drugs, prostitution, gambling to boost the economy after the economy crashes because of COVID-19. Which all of that I don't think is like. Is as outrageous as a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, that sounds really good, man. If you need help, like any resources, I have a lot of connections in the publishing world, whatever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely going to be using all of those for sure.
I would recommend to self-publish it. That's just me. That's what I did.
Yeah,
that's what I would recommend to do.
My plan is to actually, which if your followers are on here, I got a blog, prisondaddy.com, and I do a lot of writing on there. And my plan is to release the book chapter by chapter and charge like 99 cents a chapter or so to release it online, and then take the money that I make from releasing it online and self-publish it.
Cool.
Like my own copies.
Self-publishing, it only costs you $100. That's it.
Yeah.
It's really, really cheap. There's no overhead because now they do print-on-demand publishing where there's literally no overhead. They just print the book whenever somebody buys it. What was I going to say, man? Yeah, no, I haven't been able to follow your story because I quit social media lately. I got some dude that's been running my shit for me, but he hit me up and he's like, hey, he DM'd you, jump on, you know, and because I've been wanting to record a video with you for a long time. When was that? When you went to the
That was in April 2nd of 2020, so last year. April.
Holy shit,
last time we talked was
goddamn.
Yeah, last time we talked was April 1st of 2020.
Yeah, and I know the time you're doing is a lot different than the time I'm doing right now, and that's I get that.
That shit still flew by for me though too.
What's that?
I said that shit still flew by for me too, though.
Yeah. If you got a good program, you know what I found when I did my terms. Once I get past the 2-year mark, man, the 2-year mark, it just start like it's after the first year. Once you hit 12 months, it's all downhill, man. You know?
Yeah. That's how it's been for me.
Yeah. After a year, you're used to it. Was it a tough transition for you when you fell?
Yeah, I mean, because I self-surrendered, so I came straight off the street to prison.
I've done that. I did that on my second one. Yep.
Yeah, and that's definitely hard to go through. But I mean, really, what it comes down to is this. You know, like some people stick with you and some people don't. And it is what it is.
It's heartbreaking to see who your real friends are and who really cares about you in prison. I like that though. Like someday you'll look back and you're going to appreciate the fact that you went to prison and you had a life event that actually filtered out the fake people in your life. I'm so grateful for
sure.
that. I don't fuck with anyone that wasn't there for me in prison, you know, at all. I know who my real friends are.
All right. Hey, I gotta go. I gotta get off here. My rent time's over.
Hey, man, it was a
I'll talk to you
pleasure.
again soon.
You want me to put the link to your Instagram on the video?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Good talking to you. Later.
Good talk. Later. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. All right.
All right, man. Peace.